And there's a copperhead over here. I touched it with my thumb. It's all dirty. All right. Texas, Little Rock, Kansas.
What'd you write in there?
The date and my name, and I put me and Danielle out and back. So a little bit of info, you know, in case we don't come back. There are bears out here, black bears, but they say they're not any bigger than a cat. So, and we'll be safe. They're probably more scared of us than we are of them. It says this box proudly built and donated by Walmart Sign Shop.
Stop it.
Seriously. Hey man, we're in Arkansas. This is where Walmart began. Over in Bentonville, I think. Sam Walton was from Arkansas. There's not gonna be one out here though. Beautiful day on the Ozark Highlands Trail. A little breeze, birds are singing. It's real nice, everything's fresh from rain. The temperature's just right, everything's good and pleasant. I think there's something about, you know, getting out away from the road and go out a few miles away from it at least, and you see less people and just the solitude and the simplicity of carrying everything you need in your backpack. And just found some cool mushrooms. Anyway, they're you know, something about that, just the simplicity of having all your food and your shelter and everything you need from protection from the elements and everything right here with you, and there's no nothing attached, you know, and you can just explore, and it's just peaceful, and it's really a way to recharge, and really need it lately. So I'm gonna enjoy this hike. This is why I quit smoking cigarettes a few years ago. It's exactly why. Backpacking. I remember I couldn't walk up these hills, man. I couldn't do it. I have to stop and smoke a cigarette about halfway up and be huffing and puffing the whole time, but I can climb them now. And the other funny thing about it was we were packing up all our supplies for a trip and trying to decide how many packs of cigarettes to take. Oh man, I can breathe now. Danielle and I have hiked in Arkansas before. We did a section of the Ozark Highlands Trail one time, same way, and out and back. And then we've canoed down here in the Buffalo River. It's one of the national scenic rivers, and it's one of the only undammed rivers left too. It's well protected, and we hiked the Eagle Rock Loop in the Ouachita Mountains down here outside of Hot Springs, and that was a doozy, man. That's a really tough trail. And then we've hiked hundreds of miles. You know, we did the River to River Trail in 2019, and it's 160 miles between the Ohio and the Mississippi rivers in southern Illinois. And we backpacked out in Colorado before, and up in a section of the Colorado Divide Trail, or the Colorado Trail. And I think it's both there in that section, but we did part of the AT in Virginia. And adding up the miles, we've wore out a pair of shoes, wore out the tips in our trekking poles, Had to order new ones, so we passed up 500 miles of backpacking last year. Love it out here. Beautiful everywhere out here. Even the dirt's beautiful. Stepped on that snake. You believe that? All right, we're at another creek crossing with a lot of rapids here, and Danielle and I have decided to shoot the rapids in this creek with this stick. So it's got a nice canoe shape, and I think it's going to be good. We're going to put it in the rapids here and let it go down. This is so much fun. Danielle loves this.
Ready? Ready.
Danielle really likes that game. Hey, I just found some crawdad claws over here. Crawdad claws. Oh, also some beach burrs from a beech tree. This is the burr that the beech nut is wrapped in. It's spiky, kind of like a chestnut. A few of them down here. Crawdad claws and beech nuts for dinner tonight. My little claw. I'll get you. Look at these crawdad claws. They're fresh. What do you think? What do you think's leaving the crawdad claws? You think it's eating crawfish down here? Let me know down in the comments. What do you think? What animal's eating crawfish in this creek out here in the Ozarks? We just found a place to camp right off the trail. Just a little flat spot down here. So we're gonna get the tent out, set up camp. We're ready to stop. So I just went over here to get a rock out of this fire pit to drive the stakes in, and there's a copperhead over here. And when I reached down to grab the rock, I touched it with my thumb and jerked my hand back immediately because I realized it was a copperhead, and he's just chilling right there on the rock that I was going to use to drive these stakes in. So we'll see if he goes on or he stays in camp tonight.
Oh my gosh.
There he is, a little one. Well, let's get the tent set up. Copperhead camp.
What's for dinner?
Beans and rice. Oh, oh, oh.
Wolf pack.
The wolf pack. You put the cheese in, you put the corn chips in, you stir it all up. Turns into something delicious. A little salt, a little red pepper. You're in heaven. Camping in the Ozark, Boston Mountains. We're at camp. Had our beans and rice, which are delicious, by the way. Drying my clothes over here in the tree from all the creek crossings and being sweaty. Yeah. And now we got a little bit of daylight left, and we're gonna sleep in our tent. An owl just swooped through here too, man. There's a lot of wildlife out here. Snakes and bears and cats. Some kind of big cat prints that we found. But it's been a really cool hike, hasn't it? All the valleys and the creeks are real pretty in the Ozarks. A lot of clean flowing water out here. I just went and got water for camp, and found a place over here with all the rocks where water was just coming out like a spring, and filled up our water bottles. And we're just doing an out and back, so we're just gonna camp here tonight and then get up tomorrow and hike the 6 miles back out to the van. Good morning from Copperhead Camp. We're here in the Boston Mountains. It rained pretty good all night, thunderstorms, and that's the weather forecast all week for the next 6 days is thunderstorms. But we still go on our trips because we don't let the weather tell us what to do we?
No.
We don't get bossed around by the weather, man. But we're just making coffee, and we're doing cowboy coffee that we've filtered through our mosquito head net. That's how we usually do it. And we make it in one pot and then filter it through the head net into another pot. And it was a good night to sleep. A lot of lightning, man. It would really light this white tent up. Really bright in here whenever it struck, but the storm was pretty high. It sounded like most of the lightning was way up in the sky, so far away. But anyway, good morning good morning from Copperhead Camp.
The copperhead's gone.
Yeah, the copperhead's gone. I think probably during that rain. I got up last night and it was gone. It probably crawled in those rocks. Probably living in that fire pit, man. So be careful if you're ever camping out here. It's good to get out and drink some cowboy coffee in your underwear in the tent in the morning. And the birds are singing. It's nothing like it when you get miles away from everything in the middle of the woods. And it's peaceful. I think mountains describes these more than hills, you know. I've heard people say that. Do you really consider these mountains?
Yeah.
I mean, how else do you describe them? Because they're bigger than hills. They run in ridges and valleys just like mountains do, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like a rolling hillside, you know. They're steep, rugged boulders and waterfalls and just everything the mountains have. They're just smaller. I mean, I think the biggest peak over in this area is 2,800 feet.
Right.
We camped at like 1,800 feet last night.
Yeah, and they have bears and snakes and wildlife and production.
Man, I think I see a flock of birds there. I think they're eating all the berries.
Oh, yeah?
Trees. I think those are the cedar waxwings. There's a flock
I
of them.
see them.
Yeah, there's maybe 6 of them. It might be a mixed flocks, but I saw a couple of them. Yeah, there's a couple different types of birds there. Thunderstorms are happening today. We can hear thunder rolling in from the west, and we're headed back. We got about 5 miles to hike in and back to the van. It's gonna be fun no matter what. These creek crossings, hopefully it doesn't rain too much to swell them up too bad, but they weren't too bad coming in. I guess knee deep was probably the deepest one. Mainly this current, sweeping current, you know, it can be powerful, and that's all I'm worried about. So after all that rain, there's plenty of waterfalls out here. I think they call this waterfall Hollow. Right here. Look at these.
Oh.
The mushroom stick. Pretty awesome. Wonder what these are, the deadly gallerina they look like. I'm not sure though. Pretty cool mushroom stick. We're out here and it is awesome. Well, we sure enjoyed that backpacking trip, and all the waterfalls and the snakes and the bear tracks. It was all pretty exciting, wasn't it? And those,
Yes.
The creek crossings, you know, with the white water, and it's really an exciting trip. And we're excited to be back at the van too, though. We took hot showers and cooked a good dinner when we got back, and we'll tell more about our shower and kitchen and our van tour video. And we're just going to watch the sunset and listen to the frogs, and I'm going to pick a little banjo and hang out at the van. Trip, we were excited when we saw there was thunderstorms in the forecast. There's a day just like today. Stay for months while their broken leg heals, you know. Waterfalls everywhere you look. We've been in some places where the bugs are so thick you can't hardly walk. They want your blood. My little claw. I'll get you.